Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and greeting to all of us. May we be held and always in His protection. And thank you for coming to my presentation today. I am very happy to meet you all in good health and cheerful. There is saying do not do love. Before I start today's presentation, let me introduce myself first. My name is Putu Wahyu Permatasari. Here I will present material with the topic the difference between homeschooling and learning from school. My topic today might be very useful for all of you and I ask you to pay attention to my presentation today. If during my presentation there are questions, I will open a discussion and question session at the end of the presentation. So here we have divided the topic of my presentation into three main parts, namely the first definition of homeschooling, and the second the difference between homeschooling and school from school, and the third positive and negative effect of homeschooling. The first material I will convey is the definition of homeschooling. Homeschooling is a progressive movement across the country and the world in which parents educate their children at home rather than sending them to traditional public or private school. Family choose homeschool for a variety of reasons, including distinction with the educational option available, different religious or educational philosophy, and the belief that children do not thrive in traditional school structure. The conclusion for the first subtopic is homeschooling is a conscious and planned educational service process carried out by parents or family at home or in a place with a conducive atmosphere. And let's move on to the second subtopic, namely the difference between homeschooling and school from school. Okay, I will explain the difference between homeschooling schooling for school. Sorry, here I will explain the difference between homeschooling and schooling from school. The one, the first education system. Formal school will usually use standardization according to the standards of the school institution and the mainstream of national education. And the second, learning facility. Formal school usually have complete facilities such as libraries, sport field, or maybe swimming pool and other facility. According to the school choose, especially international school. And the third, curriculum. Formal school implement relatively strict curriculum because it is designed by education expert and practitioner in school institution and the mainstream of national education. And the third, study schedule. Formal school are usually strictly scheduled. Certainly, there are schools that implement 5 or 6 school day. And the fifth, learning model. The formal school learning model is relatively well established and usually hereditary. Parents only choose the school that won't follow learning model there. So, the conclusion for the second subtopic is that the two learning methods have very many differences, namely from the learning model and from the education system. And that the difference between the two learning method. And let's move on to the third subtopic, positive and negative effect of homeschooling. Here I will explain the material. I will first explain about the positive impact of homeschooling. The first, parents fully monitor children's development. And the second, avoiding children from bullying. And the third, flexible study time and duration. And the fourth, learning as a moment of quality time. Of the many advantages of homeschooling for children, this method also has disadvantages because there is no perfect method. The following are the negative effect of homeschooling. The first, social life may be unbalanced. The second, weak competitiveness and fighting. And the third, there is no curriculum standardization yet. And the fourth, full commitment and careful planning required. The conclusion for the third subtopic is then in the homeschooling learning method, there are several positive and negative impacts. An example of the positive impact is that parents can monitor the development of their while studying at home. Then example of the negative impact of homeschooling is the lack of interaction with their peers. Well, that is all for this afternoon topic. I will end this presentation by reading the conclusion. The conclusion of my topic today, homeschooling is a conscious and plain educational service process carried out by parents or family at home or in a place with a conducive atmosphere, and then that the two learning methods have very many differences, namely for the learning model and from the education system. And the home and in the homeschooling learning method, there are several positive and negative impact. An example of the positive impact is that parents can monitor development of their children while studying at home. Then an example of negative impact of homeschooling is the lack of interaction with their peers. No, I want to open to no, I want to open up opportunities for a question and discussion. If you any question, I as a presenter will be happy to answer a question from colleagues. Do you have any question? It is good if there are no question for all of you. Okay, this is the reference list that I use to support the presentation that I make. Okay, I will end the presentation. Sorry if the implementation of the presentation there is a lack of words. I apologize. Thank you for being be able to attend your presentation. I hope the material I convey can be useful for all of you. Thank you to all of you.